Adam here from the Tint Academy. We're going to do a quick video on what tools you need to start your window tinting business. Now, in our courses, I see this all the time where students will go out to Amazon and other websites, buy every single tool out there. Now, these are the beginner's tools that you need, so you're not going to blow your budget, and they're most useful to start your window tinting business. Now, there are tools out there that may make your job a little bit easier and a little bit better, but are not necessary to complete the job. This is a beginner's tutorial to start your window tinting business. Now, I always say with our window tinting courses, it's about the principle and procedure. It's not about the tools. So if you have all the tools, you don't know what you're doing, those tools are useless. It's like when you're building a house and you have a hammer, you don't know where to start, that hammer is useless. So learn the skills, learn the principles and procedures to find out what tools work best for you. Now, full disclosure, these tools can be pretty cheap that you can buy. So I see it all the time on Facebook where a lot of tinters will say, I've had this tool for 10 years. You need to keep your tools in good condition. You need to keep them clean. You need to keep them sharp. You need to keep the edges proper. So again, I always have multiple different tools in case one breaks, one gets damaged, so it's not damaging my tint. Now, at the bottom, we have a list of all these tools as well, so you can find them very easily. Now, first thing, the most important is going to be our slip solution. We're going to use baby soap and a Zep bottle. Baby soap is about $7 to $8. We always recommend baby soap because it is a neutral pH soap. Doesn't leave a lot of haze and residue behind the film. Next is going to be our Zep bottles. Zep bottles are between $4 and $6 at most hardware stores. I always recommend to have multiple of these bottles. Now, the one problem with these bottles, they do create a baby soap slime gunk, so you want to wash them and clean them every day. Now, in this bottle, you're going to use distilled water and 6 to 8 pumps of baby soap. Now, it's really important that you use distilled water because most tap water and bottled water has minerals and other contaminants that are going to leave residue and leave that dirt between the film and the glass, which you do not want. Next is going to be your knife. Now, this knife, we can get it from any kind of hardware store out there. It's between $7 and $13. The knife is not the most important spot. This is a red dot knife. It's a little bit heavier, which I personally like, but any model works. The most important part of this knife is the actual blade inside. We want to use a stainless steel blade. If you go to the hardware store and buy most of these blades, you come with a carbon-based blade, which can damage up your windows. Now, down below, we do have a video talking about the pressure that you need, the angle that you're going to cut, so you do not damage your windows. So stainless steel can still scratch and damage glass, which we don't want, but it's safer to use a stainless steel blade versus the carbon blade that typically comes in these. Now, next we use a scraper blade. These are stainless steel scraper blades as well. I'm a pretty cost-effective guy, but this is one tool that we always want to use. That's clean. So these razor blades, for about 100 of them, they're $7 on Amazon, or again, from most of your hardware stores. Different handles as well. This is used to clean and prep the inside of the window to get rid of all those contaminants. Now, the next thing that we're going to use is our Scotchbrite Pads. Scotchbrite Pads, these are the blue ones. You can only use blue or white. If you go to the hardware store, there's going to be an option for a green as well. You only want to use blue. They're safe for windows. Next, we're going to use a dryer sheet. So any brand works. You use Bounce, you can use Downy, you can use the one with the teddy bear on it. Now, there's a dry soap on these sheets. We're going to use this for a rear window and front windshield installation, which is going to be applied. Now, again, below, we have another video of how to do that proper installation with these dryer sheets. Next, I'm going to have two squeegees. So I have a cleaning squeegee. This is just a general squeegee from the hardware store. Used to do my outside prep and my inside prep to get those windows ready. Next, we're going to use a tougher squeegee. Now, I personally like a thicker, harder, denser one on the top. This is to use to press out all that excess slip solution while I'm doing my install. One of the bigger brands out there is Blue Max. I like Blue Max. I like this one better because it has a curved handle on it, so it's easier for my wrist to come through and squeegee out all that water. Next two tools is we have a Easy Reach and a Juggernaut. So this is to get all those corners inside the side seals. Again, I have multiple of these. These do nick up very easily. So to keep them safe and keep them long lasting, you can use a fine grit sandpaper, and every couple days, you just want to sand these down so they don't scratch up your tint. Next is going to be a Juggernaut. It kind of has your Easy Reach on the very end of it here. See how they line up? Then on the bottom half, it has a rubber squeegee that we can use to do our light passes while I'm doing a squeegee. I kind of like this tool as well because it's easy for me to hold. I have a handle in here. I can get into all those corners, get my film to lay down. Next is going to be my hard card. Now there's multiple kinds of hard cards that we can get. I personally like the 3M hard card. We have the hard card on the one side here, then I have a felt on the back here. I personally like using the felt when I'm doing my rear window or front windshield shrink because it allows me to get a better shrink and pushing down those fingers a lot easier without damaging the film. On the opposite, I have a harder card, so I can use this for my shrink on my outside of the glass when I'm doing my roll down windows. Now, it's very important to keep these also sanded down because if they get jagged or they get sharp, it can scratch up your tint and it can ruin your tint. One other note with these is that to have multiple on hand and to only use them on the outside of the glass. We do not want to use these on the outside of the glass. I only want to use a squeegee that is rubber, not plastic. So this is plastic. We only want to use a rubber one. Next tool I'm going to use is called a little chisler. Little chisler is probably one of your most cost-effective tools that we can use. It's this little pink guy through here. It's used after I finish my window tint installation. I want to do a full walk around, do my checks at every single window. This is used to chisel out any kind of dirt that way it may have got trapped between the film and the glass, get rid of any kind of creases as well. So this is your final touch tool. Again, just like the hard card and the easy reach, you want to sand this, keep it nice and smooth so it doesn't scratch up your window. Now, one bonus tool that we want to use is called a B-load tool. Here's our B-load tool. We actually do sell these, but again, you can buy them from a couple other places as well. B-load tool is awesome. So in our courses, we teach two methods of installation. One method is called a two-stage, where I do not remove anything off the windows. Our second method is our bottom load, which I need to remove gaskets and seals. This is called our B-load tool, so it helps get in behind that gasket, pull back so I can layer down my film. These are about 60 bucks. My guys do use them here in the shop. They find it a lot easier to tuck that film in. It's not required. It is just an extra tool. And our last tool is going to be our Bulldozer. Our Bulldozer is used for the front windshield or our rear windshield. We have two of them here. First one, this is my extensor. It has a little Velcro pad on it, so I can take my blue scrub pad. I can get all the corners of the back. Again, this is not necessary, it just makes it easier so you're not jamming your hand into the window. And my Bulldozer, this is required for sedans if you're doing front windshields. It's like your hard Blue Max squeegee with an extensor on it and has a little dip. So I can get into the back of all those corners, push down that film without jamming my hand down and getting that excess slip solution out. Now these are all the tools. Now like I said, this is a beginner's guide. If you're looking to start, these are the tools that are required to get you started. All this together is roughly about $40 to $50 to get you started on your window tinting business. Now the biggest thing is learn the principles, learn the procedures, keep your tools clean, keep your tools nice and dull so they're not scratching up your tint. Again, we have below all the videos of how you can use these tools to make money as a window tinter. Thanks guys.